they finally had another episode after like over a year, but I need it to be more frequent, okay? Howdy, Meowers. I'm Annette.
Hello, Annette. I'm Devin. Nice to meet you.
Oh, you've met me before.
I meant nice to meet you again.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was here when we did way back when. You probably don't even know, or you probably forgot. If you did know when I was here last, that's when we did our K-pop wishes episodes.
Oh, I know because I have some of the same wishes that I had then because the world refuses to fulfill them.
Oh, that's sad. Well, let's hope that you get some wishes fulfilled this year because we are doing K-pop wishes for 2024.
Yep, that's right. You heard it here. We're talking about all the things that we just are like, hey, could maybe this happen?
Yeah. There's some stuff that we're gonna say. It's like, could this not happen?
Oh, yeah, like that's true.
We really wish that this either like wouldn't happen or would stop happening. But it's gonna be all, pretty like casual conversation. We're not being like, oh man, this is like so serious.
Right. Yes. Casual, fun times, everybody. Nothing to get too worked up about.
Right. So, I've kind of broken it down personally into some categories, so we'll try to stick to categories for the most part. So, yeah, should we start with comebacks?
Oh, okay. We're just jumping right in with the big one.
Yeah.
So, would you like to go first in sharing something about a comeback wish, Annette?
No, thank you. I would like you to go first.
Oh, okay. I assumed maybe you would have more, so I thought you should start. But I can start. Definitely. This is going to be. I don't know why I decided just now to start with this one. Okay, because I'm not sure if there are many people here listening that are going to be sharing in this wish. Not because of the oddness of it, but because of the population size. So you know what? I'm wishing for a Road B comeback.
That's excellent,
2024. Hey, come on, guys. Icarus, we all heard it. We all loved it. Well, and when I say we all, I mean Annette and I, and probably no one else. But it was great, So maybe at some point they could actually have something else and I could try to form more of an opinion, rather than just like one song.
That's a great wish. I would love to see a Road B come back.
Okay, yeah. That's the long and short of it because there's not really much else to say.
Yeah. I'm hoping. Now I know I might not. I very well could not get it at this point, but I'm gonna stay hopeful and I'm gonna wish for a Wiki Miki comeback in 2024.
Ah, okay.
And I'm hoping sooner rather than later because who knows if they're even going to renew. If they go by the 7-year contract, it's probably looking like this August would be the time of, oh, what are they going to do? But
so they're going to give them 7 to 8 more months of nothing? Come on.
It's been 2 years since Siesta. And I'm still siestaing. So.
Are they the group that has gotten a light stick but no comeback?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just odd. It's odd.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Wiki Miki, let's go.
Yeah, come on. Okay, I would like to say that I would love to see a Blitzers comeback. Just because I've never experienced a Blitzers comeback yet, When I first discovered Blitzers was Macarena, and so they haven't had a comeback since then. So it's always fun when you discover a new group. You're going to be highly anticipating their next comeback because it is your first comeback.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I said that I wish for a Golden Child comeback.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'm excited to see what they're going to do next as a new stan. I said it before that I liked their music, like some of their title tracks and a couple B-sides before the Feel Me era, but now I'm like, let's go. What are you going to do next? So curious about that. I of course wish for a Blitzers comeback too, but I just feel like, I don't know when it's going to happen. It probably will happen, but I just feel like if we want to stay in the Macarena era a little longer, I'm okay with that. And they just did a whole bunch of stuff in Japan for a long time, so I don't know if they're going to jump right into preparing for another comeback or what, but I'm definitely excited for that.
I'm totally here for Macarena to just continue to be listened to for forever. So, that's always a good thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I want to see new stuff from them as well, just because of what I said before. But another group that I want to see a comeback from, I've got a lot of different reasons here for these different groups. So I'd like to see a comeback from Le Sserafim. And I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking, well, didn't they kind of just have one? And they had another one too last year. It's not like they haven't been having stuff. Yeah, they haven't been having stuff. I mean, they have been having stuff, but they haven't been having stuff that I've liked very much, personally. And I really did like Anti-Fragile, and I thought Fearless was pretty good too. Basically, I thought, ooh, this might be a new group that I would like. But then what they came out with last year, overall, I wasn't feeling that way about it. So I would like to see them come out with something in 2024 that's maybe more like those other two songs that I enjoyed.
Okay, that's solid. I wish for a DKZ comeback.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Because they had 9-6 and they had Jae-Chun's solo, but they didn't really have many group activities at all, unless we take the very, very beginning of last year and their song for the end of the year. But yeah, DKZ comeback.
Yeah, some more Crazy Night, Lupin, Fever, anything like those vibes, mm-hmm. rather than just these other two songs that we've had are more of the a slower or less we're having a comeback moments, right?
Yeah.
We want a comeback moment from DKZ,
yeah.
Please. That was also on my list. Okay. Absolutely, DKZ, please, guys.
Yeah. I also would like to see this, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen, at least not this year. But I wish for it. This is about 2024 wishes, and you can only wish for a Pentagon comeback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's another one I had on my list for this. It's the same sentiment, of course.
Just I know I'm definitely looking forward to Hui's solo. That's coming up pretty soon. I'm looking forward to Kino. I'm looking forward to Hongseok's acting debut. I'm looking forward to seeing what the members will be doing, but I'm looking forward to Pentagon back together again.
Yes, 100%. And yeah, it's we're not delusional. There's a good chance it won't happen in 2024, but still, we can wish for it.
Right.
So yes, absolutely, I'd want Pentagon. But my last group that I'm going to be anticipating a comeback from is sort of similar to Le Sserafim, for reasoning. That would be 17. So I'm really anticipating a comeback from them that is more like some of the songs from 1 or 2 years ago, maybe, that I was really that's when I was really starting to be oh wow, 17 is delivering hit after hit. But then sort of 2024 was a little bit of a low point for me with 17. 2023, yes. let's not manifest 2024 to be like that. It's a little bit of a low point, and I don't blame it on 17. I blame it on Hybe. So it's the outlook is not good for me, but I can wish.
Okay.
So those are all the comebacks that I am anticipating.
I've got two more that, I have enough reasoning for. Obviously, there's groups that oh, I wish they would have come back. But the last two, well, one is a soloist, and that's Chungha. I am excited to see a Chungha come back. Hopefully she gets something out and we all love it. And I wish for a WJSN comeback. Solo debut, great. I'm really looking forward to when that happens. I know I'm probably really going to like it. But I'd love to see a group come back, and I'd love to see a comeback of the Black subunit as well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and like you said, there are lots of other groups that I would love to see comebacks from and that I am anticipating, but like we're trying to point out the ones that we have like a reason to mention it rather than just like, oh yeah, sure, I'd love to see, an ITZY comeback when it's like they're literally in the process of having a comeback right now, so why would I mention that?
Yeah.
It's like so, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to a category that can generally be called like concepts slash styling slash sounds.
Okay.
So I am going to, well, first, let me get out of the way a little, just mention that there could be some stuff that is like, might sound a little repetitive as I go on saying my wishes. Like they might kind of blend together a little bit, but I still, like I might mention something in this category that will kind of come up again somewhere else, but just pardon that. So I'm going to start off by saying I'd like to hear more of a second gen sound coming back for girl groups especially. Like I'd like to just have those like, those bops that are just, I feel like there are obviously some bops from the newer girl groups or like recent girl group releases, but everybody knows the second gen vibe, and I'd like to have that back a little bit.
You've always been a fan of the second gen vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess sort of like a lot of my things from this category are just going to be very aesthetic based, so very like about the styling and the hair. But I will say sort of more about the general concept or sound. Can I just say, please, everyone, can you forget the retro concept? And I know second gen might sound like she's asking for something a bit retro or something. But what I mean is like the retro, like whatever era that is that everyone's been doing, it's sort of like late 70s, early 80s, I feel like.
Yeah.
That era of retro has been going on for so many years. And it's been done by the boy groups, by the girl groups so many times. The styling and the songs of the sounds of the songs, it's just, I'm over it, okay? Were there some in 2023 that were quite good, that were that retro concept? Definitely. But it's just like, I don't, like, dare I say, it's not even like specifically talking about the styling for me. It's not even like a styling that is that good that it should be repeated that many times.
Yeah.
Like, if there was like the most iconic era of styling ever and everyone's constantly doing it, I would be like, yes, oh my God, absolutely. But I'm like, retro, like, disco styling and stuff. I'm like, that's fun for like a moment when you're like, oh wow, look, it's retro. It's so retro. And then you're kind of like, but now these people are just wearing ugly clothes. I don't like the colors and I don't like the cuts of a lot of the stuff, the big pointy collars, the flare pants. So I'm over it. And I wish that in 2024, everyone would let it go.
Okay. I, too, have a lot of stuff as far as styling goes that I'm just completely tired of at this point. And I'm tired of, like, the retro as well. Like, the 70s retro looks are more, like, of a point that I would like to see less of than like 80s retro, but like the cowboy looks as well. Oh, yeah, cowboy hats, can we just stop having those just randomly be on, you have to just put them on for a music show performance even though it doesn't fit your concept at all.
Right. Like if someone's doing Western, like a Western, like cowboy, like a saloon, I get it at least, but... Yeah.
To just have it as an accessory that you go to is odd to me, and I don't like it. And also, like, the Y2K retro style is, like, way, way overdone at this point. It was really cute and fun when it first was starting to be a trend, but at this point, it's, like, it's just what is normal. It's what is, like... It's not Y2K anymore. It's like 2023, 2024 styling.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big problem is that lately the styling has become so referential of older eras to the point where I would like be troubled. Like I would have a difficult time trying to think of or describe what current style and trends would be, like, in years
Yeah.
from now, when people are like, oh, I'm gonna do like a 2020 styling. I'm like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's all just pulling from the old eras, and it's like pulling from them to like recreate looks exactly. It's not even like
Yeah.
inspired from them. It is like the slightest bit, but it's pretty, looks a lot like the styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, along those same lines, so I didn't like the retro of like 70s, 80s, and then also I was saying, can we please have no ugly 2000s styling? So, like, I don't mind the 2000s, Y2K styling if it's sort of like, was it Unche from, I don't remember what that was, when she's wearing the pink butterfly top and the
Mama
pants, her mama
Yeah.
performance, when she's dressed like that, and it's like,
That's
looks
really
like,
good.
That's great. That's like Barbie clothes from the 2000s.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. I would love if people wore that all the time. But when it's like the other kind of Y2K styling, that's like the not to like throw them under the bus as saying like it was an example of something that I didn't like, but Idol in some Queen Card performances that were super Y2K in like an ugly way that I hated it, like the stuff that I never liked from Y2K. Can we have no more of that, please? That was my more like specific wish about Y2K styling.
Okay. On the same, like, kind of getting out of the way some ones that are like, I don't like what has been trendy and I wish for it to stop in 2024, or at least calm down a bit. The whole LA, New York City street vibes in the concepts.
Ooh, definitely.
Like, we get it.
The amount of groups that had like a LA concept music video come out this year, last year, 2023,
Yeah.
insane.
Like, the LA teen vibes are just so overdone. I'm just, I get it. I understand what you're trying to do, and it's just not something that I aesthetically enjoy. And so to see it coming from every popular group is just like, okay, I'm bored of it now. So also, to call out specifically Hybe, I want Hybe to get more original and stop having like all of their groups doing similar concepts.
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely. I feel like they're one group that actually like seems to still be kind of group specific and not do what all of the other ones is doing. Promise Nine, they're like, when I see stuff from Promise Nine, it still just seems like what they want to be doing as a group, like from before. And I don't think about, oh, look, another Hybe group. But the rest of the Hybe groups, it's like I don't even have to remember that they're in Hybe. I just look at what their stuff has been like recently, and I'm like, oh, they're a Hybe group.
Yeah, and it's like you might be thinking, well, that's what Hybe's brand is becoming, and it's just not the aesthetic of brand that I like. Like SM, you can look at all their groups and be like, that's definitely an SM release, and I don't like that vibe either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't even like the vibe of companies being that way, where it's like, oh, we have 5 different groups and they all have so similar of like a undertone or overtone or whatever. Like, when I see Monsta X, Gravity, and IVE all from Starship, I don't think of them as being like super Starship. The most Starship element I get from them is that they do Pepsi stuff. So yeah, I just in general, having some more distinction between groups under the same company would be nice. But also, I'm still going off on a little bit of a fashion tangent here, because I just didn't have a lot of very pleasing fashion looks in 2023 that like I really liked. A lot of the things were like through lines throughout, and I kept being upset by it. So let me bring up one more. That would be the cheap, sort of chintzy, I believe some people are calling it ballet core looks. I just don't like it. I didn't like it the first time that I saw it. I still don't like it, and it's still very popular. All of the little like like thin ruffled things. It's like not even like ruffles in like a Victorian way, you know? It's like it just everything looks like thin and like slouchy. Like I
definitely
don't
like
like
ballet core, but I do understand how it can oftentimes be executed in a cheap looking way, and I of course don't like that, but like I like that vibe.
Yeah, I think ballet core could be done in a way that I would love. But I'm talking like all the little tiny bows in people's hair or all over their outfits in a way that's like seeming like, why is this here? Like, why are you putting bows all over this person at this point in time? And or is this the millionth time that I'm going to see bows all over this person? And or I just don't think it looks good.
Okay.
But like if it was ballet core that had like, you know, leg warmers, those little like shoulder shrug things more along those lines, I would love that. I love that aesthetic.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like the cheap chintzy thin stuff that's going along with that I don't like.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have dragged ballet core into it specifically.
I will say that I want more styling like 9i Turn It Off.
Okay. I mean, maybe they're going to be trendsetters.
Because I think that is so fun, and they weren't really like, it was a bit retro, but like, and the boots that they wore were like trendy boots, but they put definitely their own twist on the whole thing, and it was just so fun that I want more groups. I want more groups to do costumey looks. Instead of just like we're wearing street clothes that are like, you know, stylized to tie in with our concept in a way. Like it could kind of just be worn for like any song, like from any group, because they're all following one trend or another. But 9i wasn't really doing that. It was unique and it stood out. So I'd like to see more groups do something like that.
Yeah, I really like the color scheme of 9i Turn It Off, how it had a very distinct primary aspect to it, because we don't see that much color that has like nice saturation nowadays.
Yeah.
And so one thing that I would like to see more of is, this is a styling that I've always loved and wanted to see more of, dark but colorful. So like a lot of black and dark, but like with pops of like hot pink, you know, bright orange. Like, so it's dark, but it's not just like black, or like everyone's wearing like a deep maroon. You know, a lot of times they'll do dark when it's just dark, or they'll do colorful and it's just colorful. But I want to see dark, but with pops of like vibrant colors throughout.
That's very similar to something I want to see. Now, I'm going to say something very specific, but I'd like to see 17 doing something like that, or at least like a 17 unit. And the wish that I have is kind of having them do, I don't really have an exact term, like that would be a better term than teen crush sort of style of a concept. Like, I don't know, something, obviously I'm not saying they need to do this like super youthful concept or something like that, but we know that they are good at the high teen sort of concept. But I'm talking like a Pink's newer stuff, or like the style, Wiki Miki Crush looks, Blackpink's pink songs, like something with a little bit of a punk edge, but like cool and fresh. So like bright purples, bright pinks. I for some reason have wanted to see that. I think that like it would be different for 17, but I think it would be really, really cool to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I can totally see that working. And yeah, just to be a little bit more specific, even though I'm sure no one cares about this distinction, but I care about making it. When I say dark but colorful, I also like kind of don't really mean if the colors are like more along the primary spectrum, so red, yellow, no, like a normal green. That I mean like pink, maybe like teal, you know, like colors that are like more of that, like I don't know, sometimes I try to call it like tropical rainbow color scheme, those colors but with dark. Alongside that, I would love to see more glittery elements in styling. I feel like 2023, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm forgetting stuff, but I feel like it was starting to go a little bit matte, a little bit flat.
Yeah.
I want to see, glittery sequin. And sometimes people had some sequined looks, right?
Yeah.
But like, I want more like bejewels, sequins, glitter. And it doesn't have to be over the top. It just has to be like some elements here and there and I know I talked about it. A lot of face glitter was very popular for 2023. Yeah. So I know that there was glitter on people's faces, but I'd like to see more glittery, especially like sequined elements. I love sequined elements throughout styling in 2024.
That would be fun to see. I have something kind of like, when I think of it, I think of their ballet looks. Well, okay, let me just say it. I'd like to see better concept photos. Ooh. And strong concepts in general, like 9i Turn It Off that I mentioned, and like Red Velvet. I think Red Velvet is really good at doing concepts and themes, and I want the return of concepts and themes that aren't just what is trendy. So like Red Velvet's Feel My Rhythm concept photos that were ballet themed, and how they did like the whole ballet thing, music box thing at their concert. I thought that was so cool, and it looked really pretty. And so I think concept photos are such a big part of K-pop, but I feel like I haven't really seen any super exciting ones lately, because so many of them are like shot in the Y2K style, or it's like, it looks like it's a surveillance camera, like, or low angled type of photos, and they all have similar styling. So I just want to be surprised again.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, I don't see many concept photos. I usually don't see them unless it's by chance. But I do remember at the beginning of the last year, 2023, Monsta X, they had concept photos, I suppose, for their comeback that had Beautiful Liar. One set of concept photos was like, they looked like sort of maybe impressionist style a little bit, paintings. And I think that there were actual, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that there were actual paintings like that were concept photos. Like, it was a painting of each member, and it was really like a strong concept, very different and really cool looking. And then also, side note, the Feel My Rhythm ballet aspect, like, I have no problem with that at all. That was really cool. Yeah. That's not the kind of ballet thing I'm talking about. So yeah, that's a good point. It's pictures that are less just like a throwaway photo card, and not to be rude, and more of like, a moment. Like, right. Wow, look at this photo shoot. Yeah, and like, it reminds me of the Pentagon Do or Not, how they had it look like. That was cool. Manga, yeah. Yeah. So just stuff like that, more concepts, and I'm not saying for any of this stuff that I'm saying and wishing, a lot of it honestly really does just apply to like the mainstream most popular groups that I kind of wish it's like, I wish people would recognize that that's not the only thing that K-pop has to offer. If you look at smaller groups, they are doing the stuff that I wish for. Yeah. They are having really unique concept photos. It's just nobody's paying attention to it. So I guess my whole wish could be just recognize some of these other more like original things. And yeah, and also a lot of the times things that we're mentioning are, it's not that there's no one doing it, and or if it's something that we didn't like, that we didn't want to see more of in 2024, it's not that it's like, this has to be wiped off the face of the planet. It's just like, it's become so overdone that we start to be like, can we see something new? Right. So we might have even liked the things like the first time or the first couple times it popped up. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, I get it. Let's move on. Yeah. I have a couple of hair related ones. Okay. I know this has already sort of been starting a little bit. Shorter hairstyles for men. I feel like, I know, Mingyu from 17, he cut his hair short, and, shorter hairstyles for men are probably already starting to be a nice trend, but I'd like to keep it up, okay? I'd like no more mullets. It's sort of, I mean, the problem is twofold, okay? Because the first time that I would say no more mullets, this happened a while ago, you know? The mullets that was like, I have a normal haircut. Oh, but when I'm like going to go on stage to perform, they're going to like tape a little extra piece of hair on the back of my neck. And like that was the vibe that it looked like. Whether or not that's what was actually happening, it always looked like these people had a little extra piece of hair. And that type of haircut, I hate. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. So no more of those, but I feel like those have already been phased out a little bit. But the new thing is, you probably wouldn't call it a mullet, but it's very 70s. The
strands in the front that hang down.
Yeah, like it's a very like soft, billowy long hair look. That a lot of, and with like with a part that's making it go down on both sides of their face. I don't like it, and I feel like so many people have that haircut right now. I just always usually prefer shorter hairstyles. If you're gonna go long, you gotta like go long and be able to pull it off, like Jonghan from 17, like the way he does it for Super. Is it Super?
Yeah.
Like that, or like Minky back in Face with his bangs.
Yep, both really well executed.
Yes.
Looks.
Like go for that. If you're gonna go long, in my personal opinion. But I mean, everyone's allowed to have the hairstyles that they want. But we're just talking about a personal preferences here. So that would be my first sort of like hair related one. But I do have two more.
You should just share them because I don't really have anything about hair.
Okay. Another one that I have, we kind of mentioned it in a different episode before, I think. But I just think it would be really fun for more groups or more people, I suppose not the groups, but more people to go for like a color gradient hair. So like ombre, but it's colors. So like sometimes people will do like the tips or the ends of the hair into like an ombre of color. But I want to see like one color to another color, or like a color to like a darker version of that color. So like pink that goes into teal, or something crazy and cool like that.
Okay.
Because people want to do like crazy and different hairstyles, but like no one's really doing that. And I know it can be done. I know it also might not be that good of an idea to do it to your hair, but neither is bleaching it for like 5 years straight. And some people do that. So I just feel like that would be a cool thing to see.
You just made me think of something that I think would be interesting to see about hair, and that is like Idol did it with nude. They kind of all did the blonde, and I think Ghost 9 actually with Ruckus, they all had like the purpley blonde. And if I think, way back when Red Velvet was doing it with the two-toned sort of look. I mean, it was like brown on top, but they all had the color on the bottom. Some sort of like group uniformity with the hair would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's always interesting when they do that. The only one that I can think of that you didn't mention that would be BTS for like the Fake Love, but that was just kind of like
it was all
dark,
black, but like I mean they had like the colored pieces, but even if it is all black, I mean it's kind of rare to have a group have all black hair at the same time, so it would be interesting to me.
That's true. The last thing that I had, it maybe seems a little bit irrelevant, but I just have seen this is sort of a wish of something that I wish would maybe continue, because it's something I feel like has already started a little bit. I've seen bangs becoming more popular at the end of 2023, and like good bangs. And I would like to see that continue, like, yes, let bangs, cute bangs, nice, like straight, bold bangs that just look good on people, continue throughout 2024.
Okay.
Those are my hairstyle wishes.
Okay, I have some more still in this concept sort of category that I'll just kind of get out of the way. I think that Wiki Miki needs a Crush 2.0, but this time people need to actually be there for it. I mean, Crush is definitely iconic. Like, I know if people think of Wiki Miki, they probably either think of Crush or Picky Picky. But obviously, you know, they're gonna need that again. I think it was like a really good styling era and concept era, and I want to see that again. I would also like to see more bright and fun concepts. I've always been asking for that from both girl and boy groups, like the boys Bloom Bloom, Very Very Tap Tap, Pristin, even Wee Woo, Tag Me, Naughty Boy. Yeah, and of course I keep mentioning Turn It Off. Honestly, like how iconic was Turn It Off, and Macarena was like fun. It wasn't bright, but it was still fun. Well, like I guess the stages were bright.
Yeah, like
But,
some of them were. Yeah.
like stuff like that. Just I want fun stuff. It was
Cupid.
like yeah, Cupid. I just think like they were kind of not as like since the retro was so popular, it's not as dark as it had been for a while, like overall conceptually, but like I still feel like it's rare to get that super fun moment from a group, and also more fun in general, like you know the energy that Buseok Soon was bringing at the Asia Artist Awards. Like I want energy and I want enjoyment and I want that second, third gen kind of spirit to come back in concepts and groups. Like we've seen some more TikTok collabs, I guess, lately that are kind of groups interacting with each other in a way that doesn't just seem like, hello, I need to film my challenge with you. Can you please do that? Okay, thanks, bye. But like, you know, so that's like a first step, I guess. And the way that everybody was reacting to the Buseok Soon performance, that's the energy that I want from overall concepts.
Yeah, now that you bring it up, like it does seem like to a degree, especially with the newer and or more popular or mainstream groups, things have become a bit cold. Like things have become a bit more like, you know, I will pose and do my 3-set aegyo, but like I'm not like, it's not like Juhoney levels of like, you know, being there and acting and like being like, you know, because I'm not saying people have to do aegyo like he's doing aegyo. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying like it seems more practiced and more like they're trying to display a perfect image of something rather than doing like you know, letting loose. I guess that's what I mean by cold.
Yeah.
Versus like Buseok Soon is like, you know, they're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas someone can like go for it in a practiced and calculated way of, you know, these are the ways that I, you know, set out to do this from the start. Not like
Yeah.
I'm just feeling it.
Right.
So yeah, just to see some groups be a little bit more free maybe with their emotions.
Well, the last things that I'd say for this category are that I'd like to see more contemporary comebacks with like a pretty, or even like I guess they could do a more darker emotional twist from both boy and girl groups, because why not? I'm talking about BTS Spring Day or Black Swan and like Blitzer's Gradation. And I could honestly picture Weekly doing this because they have that concept shift that they're going for. And I like think that they could achieve a good comeback if they tried something like that. Well, like, I mean, it would be good to me, but they have a lot of dancers, so I think that they could pull it off. But I'm talking about like the dance style and also styling.
Okay. When you first brought that up, you said that word contemporary. I got, you know, like, oh, wow, this is the first wish that I feel like I'm really not, you know, also wishing for. But then I remembered, and then you mentioned Black Swan, and that one was really good.
Yeah.
Like, that was groundbreaking. And then we never saw or heard anything like that ever again. But yeah, I could totally be down for another group doing something like that. Like if it's going to be executed to that degree and be that iconic, absolutely.
Yeah. The last thing I'd say is just, it's something that I said in the track by track probably. But I wish that Just B would make more songs like Don't Go Back and kind of try to keep developing that rock or contemporary sound, because I just think that they pull it off really well. But I would also like to see them try something super bright and fun. But I think the direction they're going, and it seems like they would maybe like to go, if they make more songs like Don't Go Back, I think it will just be really good.
Just be, I get it.
Just be. I didn't do that on purpose, but let's just pretend that I did.
Well, I think that concludes our concept / sound / styling / just general aesthetics category. That's all that we could think of at the time of now. So we're going to move on to the content category.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the content.
So I'm sure you have a lot of wishes for this category, so would you like to start?
Sure, I definitely do have a lot of wishes for it, so I'll try to not like dwell on each one.
I feel like you often just have like some really good ideas. Like you'll be like, I wish this group would do this, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, that would be really good.
Let me just get all my general wishes out of the way. Like,
Okay.
I have it broken down into group specific content, but then I have a general content. So baking content, I'd like to see that. I hardly ever see it. I want to see it. Dorm or accommodation content, I'd like to see more group or even unit lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, content from less popular groups, just like literally make any content. Because I think that you could get some more attention if you were doing anything. Like, I understand budget is a big issue for these smaller groups, but I mean, to just sit there and upload something on YouTube, you can do really without like anything other than like a camera or like a cell phone, just make any content. Okay, reality and travel content like Bon Voyage, or even more casual than that, like 101 Go Zero Base style, anything like that. I'd like to see the Isaacs again.
Ooh,
just because we didn't get it last year, and I want to see some of the newer groups on it, and even bringing back some older groups, like Shiny. Imagine if they did the Isaac again and like Minho was just outperforming everybody. That would be
crazy.
Yeah. Master Key.
Oh,
imagine how fun that
God.
would be with like the new gen idols. Like Zhang Hao and Hanbin would be the Daniel and Ong Sung Woo of like Master Key, and it would be really funny.
I love Master Key, and I didn't even know very many of the people that were ever on it, but it was still so good. So yeah, like if they did Master Key, but like with like more people that I know, or even if they did like group episodes, where it's like all the people from a group,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Running Man name tag game style of content from either individual groups. I want them to make content like that on their own, like the Run BTS episodes where they run around, like the Hangul Day episode or the Latte department store episode.
I feel like running content must be so difficult, possibly a little bit dangerous, and very like difficult to film, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Like any sort of like game where the people have to run a lot, it always ends up being such good stuff to watch.
Some of my favorite variety content, and like they even do that in the Master Key sometimes. So it's just really fun, and I love that. The last general thing I said that I want is chaos. I want chaos.
Oh my god.
Like that man said, the more unplanned something is, it's usually more funny. Like, too much structure in the content can sometimes make it boring, and it like stifles the members' personalities. I want Going 17 and Blitzer's editing, okay? Like, I want it to just go all over the place with the editing. I want roasts or something. I want like roaming around at an accommodation or like a random location and just like, free will leisure content. I want less worrying about the image when they're playing a game, where like if they want to laugh and scream or dance or something like that and get really into it, they can, and the staff won't be like, okay, calm down. Like, I'm tired of some groups getting yelled at just because they're getting too wild for like a live stream or some content that's supposed to be entertaining. I'm like, you're making it not entertaining by telling them to stop acting like that.
That must be what ties into what we said earlier about having people have more freedom of emotion.
Yeah.
They must be like, they can't even, they're so controlled and micromanaged by these groups that they can't even do like free facial expressions on the comeback stages.
Yeah. Like, obviously, if it's just screaming the entire time or something like that and it's going all over the place, nobody's going to want to watch that. It's going to be too annoying. So controlling it to some extent, if it gets really out of control, sure. But like, literally, they get yelled at for having a good time on a program that's supposed to be an entertainment program, like, for my enjoyment, and it's making it not enjoyable. Like, the Blitzers zombie games are the perfect example of like chaos that's entertaining and funny. Or like even old The Boys content,
I was gonna
like
say,
they have a lot like that that's just all over the place, but it's really funny.
You made me think of The Boys Mafia game, when they're all just sitting in a circle on the floor playing the Mafia game by themselves. Like, there is nobody around and they're filming it. And so there's nobody to like yell at Hyunjae for screaming.
Yeah.
And it's so iconic and it's so great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so like, I mean, it wasn't live streamed. They were just filming it.
Yeah.
So is that why it was maybe more okay for them to not be being supervised, because it was going to get edited? But yeah, that I get what you're saying, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, that's it for general content wishes.
Okay, so I have some general content wishes as well, and some of them sort of overlap with yours. Obviously, yes, first thing you said, first thing I'll say, first thing, well, okay, maybe it wasn't the first thing, but one of the things that I said back in that old instance of what we talked about, that we've done this before, more baking content. I hate when people pass off baking content as there's a store-bought cake and we're going to decorate it. That's not baking content. I want to see actual baking content, and I know it's difficult because it's not as common of a thing to have ovens and like bake cupcakes or something like that in Korea. But still, you could go and get an oven from a place. Like, you can go to a place that has ovens. Baked goods exist in Korea.
Yeah.
So more baking content, absolutely.
Like, I think I saw Kepler do that, but
okay.
It was like a little, like, there was an instructor, and I don't really need an instructor though when I have the content. Like, I mean, it was fine, it was good content, but like,
I'll take it in any way I can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would prefer to not have an instructor, but yeah, so more baking content and or more cooking content that is not just like a traditional Korean or Asian dish. So, cooking something like a pizza, or I don't know,
like when Matthew made the fries.
Yeah, sure, like that. Like, I feel like if we ever see cooking content, it's like, ramen or like something like, it's like, oh, well, technically they were cooking in this, and it was just they were like cooking like a regular dinner. I want to see them like cooking things that like they haven't cooked before, or that they don't know how to cook, and they're like trying something new, like the sous vide, something like that.
Pancakes,
yeah, sure. So more baking content or cooking content. It would be cool if it was, interesting foods that were like different than things they know how to cook. And also, I'll take that in either capacity. Like, I'll take it in like, we're casually filming ourselves cooking something, or we're cooking something for a piece of content. So like the Shonu Ao cooking vlogs that are, I mean, I'm calling them vlogs, I don't know what else to call them, but the videos where he is clearly like in a kitchen that's set up to be professionally filmed, and he has like cameramen and shots that are all fancy. I'll take that, or I'll take it just like, scuffed like live stream, self cam, anything.
Yeah.
And then sort of similarly, more crafting content. So it was kind of a little bit of a trend for a while. People were like wanting to make bracelets and stuff like that. Kong Daniel would want to have a lot of live streams of him like decorating photo cards with stickers and drawing on them. I'd like to see more of just general like doing some arts and crafts.
That's fun.
You know? Yeah, I feel like that would be fun, and I like to watch that sort of thing. Lastly, I'd say, and this one I feel like maybe it's not as doable for anyone that's in a bigger group, maybe, but sort of like daily errands content. So like when people, I think DKZ did a lot of that.
Jonghyun and his vlogs.
Where they're just like, here's what I'm going to be going out and doing today. And so I'm vlogging it. And it's just, it maybe is kind of short, you know, kind of casual, but it's just fun to see like, oh, cool. They like went and, you know, went to this shop and like got a new jacket, and then they went to this other place, and you know, it's just casual, easy to watch, and it gives you like a nice like, you know, just a nice vibe of like seeing someone doing their daily life, but not like their daily life in the dorm. Like they're going out and they're doing something, but it's very casual.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I have like for content wishes. It's more general stuff.
All good wishes. I agree with those. I will now talk about some group specific wishes as far as content goes, and I'm going to start by saying Just Be. I would like them to either continue right just that or have a regular variety or entertainment show like Run BTS, Going 17.
They're very good at the variety content. I've liked every episode I've seen.
Yeah, it's really good. I miss it. I want it to come back. NCT Dream, I said that I would like them to do member vlogs. I think like it could be doing something a little more than just like, oh, you know, super casual. Like I don't really care. I just think it would be interesting to see individual member vlogs, because I feel like we don't really get that much of like a personal insight with NCT Dream. Like as far as content, I just think it would be fun. I want to see more Just Do It. They finally had another episode after like over a year, which I'm very grateful for, but I need it to be more frequent, okay? I know they got a lot going on, but I need it to be more frequent. And the last thing, I'm going to wish for it, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to get it, is Chillin' 3. Ooh. Like, I really love those series. They're just so relaxing, but also fun. But they didn't do one last year. They have been on world tour, and I think they're probably having another world tour, so that's probably why they might not do it this year. But I think they deserve it. I mean, to have one world tour that you're finishing and then just starting another one, like, wow. But, you know, I'd like that.
I feel like, now that you got me thinking about it, I feel like there aren't, like, groups, when they have a comeback, I feel like we either get, like, little to no, like, extra content from the group, or the content that we do get is from other, like, channels that they're going, you know, like, okay, so, yeah, they went on, I would say they went on Dingo and they did like Dingo Mafia dance or something, but nobody's even doing that anymore. Yeah. So I can't really use that as an example, but you know, they'll go on those sorts of shows, like, oh, they went on Weekly Idol, though they did, but they don't have any, like, you know, like content piece. Like nobody ever does anything anymore that's like an extra thing that you can watch. That's and I feel like some of the channels that they go to, it's kind of like not as good.
It's not, yeah. And like if they even go on other channels anymore, it's like not as exciting as it used to be, my opinion.
And like because I feel like there are a few channels out there that do make really good content. They're really good at editing. They're really good at having good ideas. And, you know, you like a lot of the stuff they make. But then there's some other channels that's like, they kind of don't seem like they know the people very well ever. They can like be yelling at the people. not like yelling, but that they can be disrespectful, like, and it's just kind of, you're like, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
Like, it's, I've seen countless times of people seeming like they're getting bullied by hosts, or where there's people that are like, not getting coverage in the right way, and like, it's just weird. Whereas when it's group made content, like, the company is making the stuff for them, it's like not like that usually. So just that in itself makes it better, but then also they can usually have some really cool unique ideas. They can go to unique go into unique situations rather than just being like in the studio set of whatever the channel normally has people in. So I would like to see more. It's weird, I guess maybe it's weird to call it self-produced, but like more stuff that like the group is pioneering.
Yeah. Definitely. I also would like to see 9i produce some content. I want like more content in general. I think that the members are funny and I like the dynamics. I just want to see more. Like, they can continue Why Not 9i. I really enjoyed that program. Or like I said with Just Be, just some regular variety content. I don't even care what it is. Just, they don't have much content and I'd love to see more. Blitzers. Okay. Blitzers is a big one, as everybody knows. They have a lot of content, which I really appreciate, and I wish that it keeps being as good as it is. That's my wish. That's like, a good wish. Mainly. Like, I don't want it to start, like, being too much like everybody else's content. I don't want them to, hold them back. I don't want the editors to stop doing random weird edits that you're like, what is actually happening? Did they really just edit them flying into outer space right now? Or like, stuff like that. I want the content to just keep being as good as it is, but I do have some things that I would like to see them do, and that includes long-form travel reality.
They deserve it.
They do deserve it, and I think that they want it. Like, they said that they really wanted it, and they jumped around in a circle, and they were like, we want it, we want it. But I feel like the Blitzers holiday was, like, a little bit of that. Like, it was really great, and I recommend it. It was really fun, but it wasn't long form. It was multiple episodes, which was nice, but I'm talking, like I said earlier, like Bon Voyage, like lengthy stuff. Just go anywhere, do anything, but like relaxing but also chaotic. Yeah, that's what I want.
Bon Voyage, can I just take a second to say, like, Bon Voyage, iconic. Like, I can't even, like, I just remembered it when you said it. Like I just, like, like the feelings and the vibes were like back into my soul. And I was like, oh my God, Bon Voyage was so good. Like, it just, it has its own energy that, like, I haven't seen replicated anywhere else. Like,
me too. It completely stands out, and like the vibes, like you said, it's just, it's something else. Like, and it's so good.
It's so good.
So Water Fun.
Oh, yes.
We both talked about this. It would be fun to see from Blitzers.
Yes.
They could do it as part of the long form reality,
Definitely.
Just go, literally just go anywhere, do anything, like I said, and film it, and it will be funny. And then, like, the last Blitzers thing I want is group content in, like, a simple format. Like, I talked about generally wanting more group or even unit lives from people. So this could be in the form of a live stream. And I feel like Blitzers is pretty good at doing, like, group lives. But I'm talking like the old Pentagon or like Kun even live vibes. Like, play some games, like play ping pong, pull out some chairs and like just start doing the whisper challenge or something. Do the, what is it called? The Rose of Sharon.
Oh, right.
Game.
Red light, green light.
Yeah, red light, green light. Just stuff like that in a live.
Yeah, those old Pentagon lives and they're telling the scary stories.
Yeah.
Or when they're making the
The gimbap.
yeah, was it gimbap?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that vibe for groups would be really fun. Like it also seemed very like self-managed. Like there was someone filming them, but it was very much like, you know, the group is saying like, okay guys, like let's do this, blah blah blah, rather than being like someone off camera being like, okay, what you guys are going to do is this.
Like I miss the vibe of hanging out in a practice room and just doing whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring that back in 2024, please.
Yeah.
Okay, the other groups that I have some content wishes for. The boys, I want that Juyeon Q main dancers live, please. They promised it to me and we never got it. So yeah, I want more content like the boys content that they used to make with like, you know, when they were under Cracker, like the play, Mission the Boys, stuff like that, or at least more frequent entertainment or like casual but fun content. And even a Come On the Boys return would be nice. They did it the beginning of last year or the year before that, I don't remember, but bring it back again, why not? DKZ, I'd like to see more promo, honestly, but like more content and more group appearances on variety programs, and also more promo for Giseok and Sehyun would be nice. And I would really love to have a return of Gumia and have people like DKZ, Just Be again would be fun. And AB6, they were on it before and it was really good when they were on it. I want to see ZB1. I want to see Blitzers. I want to see 9i. Wiki Miki, come back. Wiki Miki on Gumia. Let's go 2024. Yeah. And AB6, I would like to see the return of AB4U. I would like the episodes to be edited in that older, more chaotic style that they used to be in. I want better promo from Brand New Music, honestly.
Ooh.
I'm saying it. I want it. They deserve it. They're having a comeback this month, actually, so that'll be good. Let's see what happens.
Cross your fingers.
I feel like it is starting to come back up again, but
good.
We'll have to see. And I wish that AB6, this isn't content, but it was talked about in content. But I wish for AB6 that they would get that bigger practice room that Reimer promised almost 3 years ago. And he said, oh, all your inconveniences will disappear. I've never seen that practice room. Did they just film in the small one that they've had the whole time and practice in a nice big one in a different building? I don't know, but I hope they get
all
it.
the receipts.
Yep.
You made me think of a specific thing or two specific things, honestly.
Okay.
But also I could just say like less specifically, like this is why I didn't really say this because it's not very realistic or anything. And I've said it before, but you know, less specifically, but kind of specifically, I would always be down for, you know, any sort of DKZ, Pentagon, Monsta X interaction or collabs of any kind, because I think those three groups could do something great together, like any of those three, you know, doing something. Pentagon has covered a Monsta X song before, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that would be cool. But no, also randomly, I would like to see more Joshua Vernon cooking content.
Okay.
Or Joshua Vernon just general English interaction. I mean, I don't even mean English. I actually do mean English-Korean hybrid interactions. When one of them is speaking partly in English and partly in Korean, and the other one is responding like partly in English and partly in Korean. It's fascinating. I love to see those interactions. It's so funny. And lastly, honestly, another Joshua Vernon English song. And I know I don't ask for English songs often. But 2-1 is so iconic and it's so fun. And I just love the vibes of it, that for them to do something like that, like if they're going to do more of that, I'm down for it. If they're going to make it be like some sort of hype situation, then never mind, I take it back.
Okay. Should we go on to the collabs or covers section?
Sure, yeah. I sort of segued us through.
Okay, perfect.
Because I don't have any.
I have a big one. Everybody could just, for now, disregard all the other ones to just focus on this one, if this is the one that's going to come true.
Okay.
Although, obviously I'd love to see the other ones. I have a big list of covers that I want to see groups doing, but we're not going to share them all today. I have too many. But I wish in 2024 and moving forward, no more neurotic covers. Please, I beg, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
It would be a sort of a miracle situation if that wish is granted, but I wish for it as well.
Like, if they didn't do it every year, multiple groups a year,
yeah, there's like
20
more
times,
than one cover a year, like, of this song
in the same show. Like, that's what it feels like. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, go ahead, do melodic, whatever. But like the fact that it's literally mandatory, it seems, to do a melodic cover is just like, I don't understand.
Like, every single time there is the slightest possibility that it could be a melodic cover that's going to happen, we make a joke that it's going to be melodic,
right?
But at the same time, it's like, we're not joking. Like, we know it's going to be melodic,
right?
Like, it just is every time.
And it is like, it's always melodic.
And it would be different if that was like just the most iconic serve that a person could do as a cover, but it's not. I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but it's not.
Yeah, so no more melodic. I also would like to see covers of rarer songs that aren't just like the same most popular couple title tracks from the most popular groups. Like,
Kill This Love,
I don't need to see every idol doing Blackpink, Le Sserafim, aespa 200 times over, or like the same two popular EXO, BTS, and 17 songs.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same ones every time. I feel like I've seen every group do the exact same songs. Why can't there be more of like a rotation, at least, of the songs that they're pulling from? Just my opinion. I just feel like it's getting stale. Yeah. And like, I'd like to see people covering some older groups like that aren't even like, they had popular songs, but I feel like people don't cover them, like VIX, right, or Pentagon, EXID, Red Velvet. People aren't covering them. Like, sometimes they cover like VIX and Pentagon, but it's rare to see covers like from other groups that aren't the big ones that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, just some completely random ones that I thought I'd throw in. 10 and the Dreamies.
Oh, okay.
I want to see that. I want to see Giseok from DKZ covering WJSN Happy. I said it and I'm not taking it back. I'm once again asking for a Jano Jamin collab, subunit, anything. I will accept it in the form of one really well executed, well shot cover of a good song. Just anything. They deserve it. I'm asking, and I will ask again.
That's crazy that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Very random, but it's really just because they're both main vocals and I think that they look alike. Taeray and A-Pink Eunji vocal collab. Why not? What's stopping us from getting that? And then the last thing, more blitzers, just be DKZ interaction. In any form.
I feel like that's like the golden trifecta of like groups that don't have recognition and are like not brand new but not super old. Like, a couple years old, they're super good, and like, why doesn't anyone else see it?
Yeah, so that's all I've got for that category. The last category that I threw stuff into is a miscellaneous category.
Oh, okay. Well, then, share with us.
Okay. The first wish that I have is Wake One. I wish they would just stop. I didn't know how else to, try to manifest other than just asking them to stop doing what they're doing because it's not good. Yeah. No more survival shows or Mnet competitions is another big wish that I have. We don't need it.
Yeah. And I would say specifically for me, like survival shows that are taking people that are already in a group to make some sort of new temporary group.
Yeah.
Like it's nobody asked for that. No one.
Yeah. That was part of a wish. Like, I wish that there is more focus on the groups as they are.
Yeah.
And like not so much on super groups or subunits or like solos or, you know, making some combination group out of like taking people out of the groups that they're already in.
Overly intricate combinations.
Yeah. Especially for groups that like aren't established yet. Like it's like, you know, if it's BTS and they want to have their solo music, of course, you know, you deserve it, have a solo. But for these groups that don't even have like a super big audience yet, to be trying and putting them in some sort of combination group is just weird to me.
Super big backlog of stuff. Yeah.
And you know, that ties in kind of, I want the members' health and conditions to be prioritized, but I feel like when they're trying to put them on all these survival shows and stuff, it's really not being prioritized. And I'd say, like, don't make these crazy schedules for one of your groups while ignoring other groups in, like, your company.
Or for one person and not for the other people. Like, you know, there's every single group is more than just one person in the group.
Yeah.
So, you know, solo stance, sorry to, you know, let you down. But the company does not need to focus, like, every single like guest appearance being held on the shoulders of one individual member.
Yeah. Okay, SBS, they need to just be better at everything. So I wish that they get some better, I don't know if they need better mics or like sound audio equipment, better camera work. Like, I'm sorry, like SBS, but your audio is consistently poor. It's been that way for as long as I've known about K-pop, and I just don't understand why it's so bad.
Like, everyone knows this, and like it's not like it's, you know, what is one of the tiny ones? The show?
Yeah, the show.
Yeah,
well, I mean, the show is SBS, but it's not as bad as Inkigayo.
Well, I mean, like, Inkigayo is one of the most iconic places that a group could go for their stage performances.
Yeah.
And it's that bad. Like, you're delivering something that bad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like it was iconic because it was maybe one of the only ones, like one of the first ones, but they never like advanced, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I can literally like close my eyes, somebody could put on an Inkigayo performance, and I will know it's Inkigayo just because of how bad the audio quality is. Yeah, I wish that idols would promote more like they used to on music shows, or like more like they used to if their song got really popular, and they do it for more than just like 3 max music show appearances and have almost no other content that era. So it's like, okay, they released the song and then did nothing with it. And, you know, I'm looking at the boys when I say this. I feel like they had like 3 title tracks last year, but they promoted them all so little. I'm like, what happened? They were all good, but we barely got anything from them.
And it's a little bit confusing because I know, like, she did just say she wants the members' health to be into consideration when she's asking for more promo and more content. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of just like, I mean, at the very least, if you're going to do such a small amount or for such a short amount of time, at least make it good, right? But I think in general, part of it is like this fear that music show promotion is not being valued as much anymore. And it's such a good part of K-pop. So it's like, you know, if you have to make the promotion time a little bit longer to have a little bit more music shows, then they can, you know, they can do that in a way that's still like making sense and not being too much for people, rather than doing like 10 shows in 1 week.
Yeah.
You could do like, you know, 10 shows over 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, like if you need to spread out the promo period a little more, I think it would get more attention still if you're doing more with your song than just like doing it once and then stopping. Like, even if it takes you like a month or something to promote it as much as you want to on a music show, I think it would be fine. And like, you know, you're saying like that's, you know, one of the, whatever you just said, one of the good parts of K-pop or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, it is, but we're not saying there's nothing wrong with music shows. Obviously, it's like if you have to be awake all hours of the early morning just to get your hair and makeup done and your styling and all that and wait around, it's like there's a lot of bad aspects that we recognize, but I feel like some people are ignoring the good aspects about it.
Yeah. And also, if it's for a limited amount of time and it's something that you knew was going to be happening that you can, be prepared for, hopefully that can help to make it not as bad, it seems bad, but it is part of your job that you signed up for.
Yeah.
So you have to take that into account. People that are becoming idols know the demands of the job in general, but should the demands push them to the breaking point? Absolutely not. We're not saying that.
Yeah.
But no, that reminds me, I have a miscellaneous wish. Can I?
Of course.
Just jump right in. Yeah, I feel like promotion time is relying too heavily on short form content, especially short form content that is not even very inventive or transformative. Like, I wish in 2024 that we can have some, it's only some groups specifically, I feel like, relying less on just doing 15,000 shorts and TikToks with the same song over and over again. And that is considered part of their promotion. It's like, I do not need to see one of the members from this group and like some member from another group dancing to this part of this song 20 times.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Just pick a couple of instances. It would be so iconic if we did this dance with this person,
Yeah.
and show us those. We don't need to see a million. And if that's what they're spending all their time doing, rather than something else that would be different, then stop. That's my wish.
Okay. I think that in a similar aspect of like, I don't want obviously like the conditions to be bad of these idols. I think pre-releases and triple titles became so common last year. I think it's not necessary for everyone every single time. And I worry that if it keeps going like that, it's only going to create burnout and it might make it harder for the groups in the end. Like, to have that much stuff that quickly is just like, it seems like if it has to be like that and if it keeps being a trend, I feel like it's not going to be very good. And I feel like it's also not going to be very good for fans because they'll get used to having that many new songs in a row. And it could also be like, they'll probably start competition between all the title tracks that they have. And I feel like it could just get bad. So, yeah, I wish that it wouldn't get bad. And kind of just two more things that I'd like to wish for. This wish, people might think it's dumb or like annoying or like insignificant, but I'm tired. Personally, it's my opinion that I'm tired of seeing 80 names, like many names credited on like the lyrics alone of one song. Similarly, I would like to see the return of self-producing groups at the top. Like, I feel like it just helps their brand and lets the group have a more distinct sound. And like the fact that so many of the mainstream and popular groups now are having these huge teams create the tracks, it just adds to that following the trend aspect that I wish would kind of slow down a bit, and like the overuse of concepts and certain themes and words even like that are popping up, and they're the most random words, but they're appearing in title tracks of completely different groups.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Can the songs still be good that are written by so many people? Yes, but do they stand out as something like original and unique? No, not really. They definitely all are following the trends from what I've seen for the most part.
Yeah. And so some of those songs, like having those songs like, sprinkled throughout, it's fine.
Yeah.
But when it becomes overwhelming, it's too much. I don't see how like more than 5 people like could even write a song. Like, Like how does that how did that many, like, a song is not long. There aren't many words.
Yeah.
How and guess what? The words repeat.
Yeah.
So how do you even have that many people write one song? It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah. So there's that. That's a whole thing. The last wish that I have is that I wish more groups would get their Brave Girls Rollin' moment.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, I feel like groups that had hits, but not like, you know, hits, the trademark, like Pentagon with Shine, or I want to say like AB6. I feel like they should re-promote their music on music shows, and it could have another chance to get popular again. Like if EXO can get a first win with their song First Snow on Music Bank after 10 years, and if WJSN As You Wish can top the charts every year for the new year, I just feel like more groups can have their Brave Girls Rollin' moment. And I thought it would become a trend and people would start promoting their old stuff, but I haven't seen it.
I don't think anyone would be upset by that.
Yeah, it would
Sounds
be
like
so
a good
fun
idea to me.
and
Yeah.
interesting, and I feel like everybody would love that.
Yeah.
So I wish that would happen.
That's a good wish.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I've got.
Well, we had many wishes. At the start of the episode, it might have felt a little bit like, you know, we were just sort of plugging through, you know, I wish for this, I wish for not this, I wish for this. But towards the end there, we got some more dynamic elements here that I think it gives the wish universe a lot to work with, you know?
Yeah.
So have at it, universe.
I feel like people are going to think that we're being too like dramatic, or we're being too picky or something negative, and they're going to misconstrue everything that we're saying,
as they do.
But it's not like that. So maybe somebody will agree with some of our wishes and hope that they happen too. And so if you are one of those people that's listening, you can go ahead and leave a comment and share some of your wishes for 2024 K-pop.
Yeah, and might I say, like, if you have listened to any of the previous episodes of the podcast, especially the ones where we talk about comebacks, you'll hear that there was a lot that we enjoyed throughout 2023. So even though we wished for a lot of things to change, we wished for a lot of things to stop, we still did get a lot of enjoyment out of K-pop from that year. So please, like, if people are just hearing this for the first time and they're thinking, why do they even listen to K-pop if they have all these things that they want to change?
Right.
There was tons of stuff that we liked as well. So, you know, you can go check out that stuff. We have playlists of our favorites from the year. Like, there's...
Yeah, go listen to those. They're available on Spotify.
Yeah. So just because you like something doesn't mean you can't be critical of it or want any of it to change.
Right.
Or you can't have your own personal preferences.
Right. So I really wish in general that people would try to just understand and, you know, anyway.
Listen with a more open mind.
Yeah.
Not a mind that's like projecting what you think people are trying to say or feel onto it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this episode. You can go ahead and like the video if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe to the BlushCat channel, and turn on notifications. Go ahead and follow BlushCat on Spotify, and don't forget to check out our playlists that we have.
Thank you so much for listening and watching.
This has been Annette.
And me. Bye.
Meow, meow, meow.